Welcome, Harmony Rucker League fans, to another episode of Inside Harmony Rucker League. I am Walker Ward. Alongside me, as always, my co-host Mason Howard. And Mason, we were just talking. This is here episode 11, 12. I think it's 12 because of the award show doubled as a podcast. So we're on episode 12, season 2, year 6 of the HRL. And well, here we are. Finals week,
Here we
baby.
are.
It is
Isn't it
finals week.
isn't it insane how if you're watching this, you probably have been with us almost the entire way. You probably remember watching our mock draft at the end of the year when we were talking about these rookies, having no idea the type of impact they could make on their teams. And now fast forward and we are in the final week of the HRL season. It has come, it's gone, and it's been great every step of the way.
We get into, let's talk about, let's just get people in right now. We're kind of planning some things for the finals, right?
Yes.
We've got a lot of things planned. And while we've still got our audience trying to get ready to decide, should I show up? Should I not show up? Let's kind of give them a rundown of a couple of things that we have. We're going to have food. We're going to have popcorn. We're going to have sign making. We're going to have a hoop shoot. We're going to have just people in general. I mean, add to it. Keep telling the people what we're going to have.
Yeah,
What
we're
are we
gonna
trying to
have
have too?
we're gonna have phenomenal basketball. We're gonna have music, not necessarily live music. We might have a live national anthem. We'll see about that. And more than anything, we're gonna have a phenomenal atmosphere to spend your Sunday nights. It is get your buddies, come down there. It's our little portion of this state that we're in, the southeastern Minnesota corner. It is a great way to come and spend it with the community that we have built down here. I don't know where else you'd want to be on a Sunday night.
If anybody out there is watching this and you're thinking, you have the slightest thought in your head about what is the Harmony Rucker League? Do I want to get involved with it? How do I get involved with it? Show up this Sunday, 5 o'clock. Honestly, get there before 5 o'clock. Meet everybody, socialize, get to know. This is going to be the best experience you're ever going to get for the Harmony Rocket League. This is the Arc de Triomphe of the league. This is what everybody wants to get to. This is where you're going to get your name out there. This is the championship. So what better way to at least get a taste of Rucker League than this Sunday, 5 o'clock, Harmony, Minnesota. Be a friend, tell a friend, and show up because it's going to be awesome.
Exactly.
Speaking of
And
awesome, oh,
if we,
sorry, I
I
stepped
have
on you
one more
there.
thing. Oh, that would be a
this
great transition.
virtual this virtual stuff with us is kind of hard because like so hard to read each other's body language.
It is. It's so much easier in person. But we're the finale podcast, the final podcast of the season. We're going to get done in person, so it's going to be a good one to recap the season. But bear with us for now. I say that we get a sign up sheet. And if you have any interest in being a player or an owner next season, we have a sign up sheet. So you get your name down, we get your contact information, and then we can already have a list for next season because there's going to be spots open in both the owners and players categories. And if you want to like have a first dibs on one of those spots, show up to the finals, show the league that you are already invested before you're even in it.
Person reach out yesterday with interest in owning a team.
Really?
Um, so like there's a list of teams going to be open, but that list is filling up. So if you want a chance, sign up now because I can't promise you that it's going to be available come December, come January. That those spots might already be taken. Get your name on it. Show up this Sunday. Put your face out there. Get to know some of the players. But speaking of things that were awesome, this last Sunday at Rucker was absolutely, without a doubt, awesome. Two series semifinal games. Both of them went all 3 games, right? We just do best of three, best of three series in the semifinals before the finals is best of 5. Um, Absolutely electric. Both series, right? The first game for both of them. Let's start with the Gators, right? The number 1 seed taking on the number 4 seed Storm. And this is where we had the clash of titans. We had hard and large doing battle. I was told, according to sources,
Is
that if they met in the post, hard and large, there was going to be fingers going inside bodies. Not going to say where, but things were getting physical out there. Um, but we got what the league wanted. The semifinals really got what the league needed, I guess. Right? We had Colton Ethan Lane going to battle. We had Quincy Berlin out there trying, chasing that championship alongside Ethan Lane. You were on assignment this Sunday, unable to attend, but you were in every single YouTube live video, watching it from a distance. Can you kind of tell me about, your experience from this Sunday on what did you see? A quick little recap.
from watching virtually, I was yeah on assignment. I was actually on the road at the time, so I was doing my best to follow along while also practicing safe driving habits. So I can't say that I can give the best analytical recap, but here's what I do remember. I remember that the Gators double teamed Colt Landers in game one, which led
Mm-hmm.
to a lot of Parker Wong and open two pointers. However, I don't
Mm-hmm.
think he made enough of them. How did the Storm respond in game two? Because they won. I don't know how they responded though.
Story for both teams. When we get to the Black Panthers, um, we'll talk about that. But in the first game for the Storm, obviously, whenever Colt Landers touched that ball and they had a double team opportunity, they were doubling him. I don't know exactly what the Gators talked about, but I can only assume that their goal is we're not going to let Colt beat us. If Parker or Trey start hitting shots, so be it. We would rather gamble and not let them hit or make them try to hit shots than let Colt have any type of a decent look because when Colt did not have a lot of daylight, right? They were guarding him hard, but any chance of daylight, he took it and he was making at a fairly consistent rate to where it's like you have to maintain that double team on him. So game one, Parker Trey were not hitting, you know, weren't really carrying their load. However, game two, Trey Matheson was the story of game two. Parker hit his shots early before Trey came alive in game two and honestly took over. That's how the Storm won game two. And I was after game one, I thought the Gators had this in a bag. Quincy Berlin came up to me and he's like, "You think we're going three?" I said, "Absolutely not. Not after that performance by the Storm. The Storm proved me wrong, forced to game three. When it came down to game three, it was a battle the whole way. But I just think the Gators had a little bit more in the tank. Um, the shots just weren't falling at a consistent rate for those Storm. Quincy Berlin started coming alive. Ethan Lane just doing hard things. And Cohen Kraft was a big part in that game three. He had some big blocks. He had some just a couple of big 2 pointers, good little downhill drives, lay-ins. It was an overall good team play. Gators get to the finals. Everybody kind of saw it coming. Great season by the Storm, nonetheless. It was thrilling. It was exciting the whole way, but nothing was as thrilling as that Lions Black Panthers series. Game one in that one was it was a little back and forth, but ultimately down the stretch, we just saw the Lions pull away and flex their muscles. Shots weren't really falling. That was the same storyline for the Gator Storm, same storyline for the Black Panthers, in that shots just were not falling at a consistent rate. Game two, they started falling. You saw the big fettuccine hitting. You saw Kale Eichen hitting. And they ultimately win in game two, force a game three where absolute electric. Were you closely monitoring that game three, or were you kind of still focusing on driving? Because I know it was near the end there.
Um, you know, I was focusing more on probably that Black Panthers Lions series than I was on the other Gators Storm series. And that is because there was one player one player in mind that I wanted to see if he could pull off the upset against Jay Brink.
Mhm.
And that player was none other than the man himself, the big fettuccine.
A big fettuccine,
The big fettuccine. I mean, he is
rookie of the year.
rookie of the year, must see TV. I had to tune into that one. Game one, that was the first game we played that day, and that was going to kind of dictate how closely I was going to listen through my drive because I need to know what's going on. But I wanted to make sure that I was also focusing on the road. I was driving, and you did a great job commentating, Walker. I was in it, and I couldn't believe how close of a game one it was. And I was just thinking, game two, Big Fettuccine's going to run out of gas. He's going to run out of pasta. And that wasn't the case, and he didn't do it alone. I'll be the
No,
first to
he
say that.
didn't.
And then game three comes around, and it was about a 5 point game for most of the game, right?
Hmm.
And at about 16 to 12, maybe, lines up. Jay Brinks hit back to back 2 pointers. I think it's been Jay Brinks going two, Kale Aikens getting one type of situation going on right now. My dad gives me a call, and I'm like, "Oh, I gotta answer this. It's my father." So I answer that call. I end the call a bit later. Game's over. I'm like, "Oh, last time I was there, 16-12. You know, Jay Brink did Jay Brink things." I tune into the next live. I hop in the comment section. I'm like, "Who won the last series?" Expecting to be Lions. And how did Game three turn out, Walker?
Okay, so really, it was the Jay Brink show for the Lions, right? Actually, I can't remember now. Was it game three when Isaac Underbaki showed up? They
Game
subbed.
three, midway through game three, he shows up and he airballs it.
Was that game three or was it game two still?
It was
It
game
was
three.
early in game
Yes.
three. Early in game three.
Yes.
Okay. So before we get to game three, let's talk about game two. We saw, I would say, Kale Eichen, really came alive in that game too. He was hitting big time shots. Obviously, we were seeing the big fettuccine. Reminder: no Greg Kennedy. The Black Panthers
No Greg Handy.
were not at full go for it. So you were really seeing all four of the other Black Panthers players carrying the load, right? Trying, subbing in and out. It was mainly Fettuccine, Kale Eichen, Brevin Tulsrud, and Logan Baylor would come in to give rests when needed. No fifth. Uh, Logan Baylor hit a 2 pointer. That was a big spark. That was an energizer for him. But ultimately, I would say it was Kale Eichen and then Max Barnes just being a extra large presence down low. All of a sudden, we get to game three. Back and forth, back and forth. Tensions are getting really high. And everybody knows at one point in the game, there's some words getting thrown around. Maybe some words that aren't necessarily PG, maybe not even PG 13, right? Things almost were a little uncomfortable. It was how high the tension was getting. I didn't really know what to say because I just want to see what happens. So during that game, it cannot go without saying, um, Brevin Tellisrud was almost wearing Jay Brink's skin. Now, obviously, Jay Brink's going to get his because he is the MVP, the best player in the league. But it cannot go without saying that Brevin Tellisrud, a high schooler, going into his senior year, I'm
It might even
not
be his junior
100% sure,
year. I don't know.
but
He's a younger guy.
slapped the, I'd say the hardwood, slapped the concrete of Rucker League and said, I will take the challenge on of trying to guard Jay Brink. And he did. Like I said, you're not going to stop Jay Brink, but he did about as good of a job as anybody could do. And I really think that Brevin played so hard and he never let anything get to his head, right? Jay Brink's going to get his. He's always going to get his, but he never let it get to his head. He battled. There was a couple times where I think Brink was being a little petty. He was getting frustrated because he's got this high school kid giving him a run for his money. There were some fouls, but there was also some like ticky tacky fouls that it's like, shut the F up and man up about it. Like, kind of want to start swearing here, but I want to save you the time of editing. What does this league come to? I mean, that was pathetic. Out there, oh, I got one. Oh, I got one. I don't know where this started. Everybody's pointing the finger at Jeffy. Maybe it started there, but that series was just getting a little out of control. And there were some ticky tacky falls. Obviously, when it's getting down to game point and you have a wide open layup, you better expect to almost get speared because they're not going to let you just walk away and win the series 2-0, right? There was a point where Brink had almost a wide open layup and Kale Eichen borderline tackles him and Brink gets all mad about it. That's Rucker basketball, dude. We're not going to give you an easy lay-in. So that was upsetting me that we're playing like this in Rucker ball. Come on. This is outside concrete, play the wind. Remember back in my day, we were just talking about this beforehand. Back
Yeah.
in my day, right? No, we didn't call fouls, right? If you got a foul, you kind of said some petty stuff to the other person, like, you're not going to call that? Okay. I'm going to get it back to you and we're going to escalate and escalate and escalate. Now, if you so as much as look at somebody, got one, I got one. Shut the F up. Be a man. This is Rucker ball, right? You're not getting free throws. There was, I heard some players on Sunday say, we're going to try to foul a certain player out. That's not what this league is. That is some Bush League stuff right there. And that's not what Rucker ball is. And can I say karma? Because what happened at the end of the game? Brevin Tullisrud kept his head about him, stayed the course the whole time, went out there, did his job. And ultimately, there was a lot of chirping, right? The Lions thought they kind of had it won. They were up, like you said, they were up 16-12. The cherry on top of the Sunday pushes Lions players over the edge. Things get out of control, right? A lot of swear words getting thrown around. A lot of, you sure you want him to guard me? Egos were getting tested. A lot of things were going back and forth. All of a sudden, we're getting owners getting brought into the mix, which is now upsetting fans because they're friends with the owners. Things got a little personal. Karma exists because Brevin Tullisrud catches that ball, does a pump fake, flies by, a little sidestep, puts that ball up in the air, carries it 21-20. Black Panthers are going to the championship. Mason, we called it. We might have known what we were doing. We weren't expecting the Lions to be full strength. They were full strength in game 3.
Yes,
And the
they were.
Black Panthers, they showed more heart. And that's what it takes. We've talked about this before. Rucker ball isn't just about having the best players. It's about having chemistry and heart and going out there and battling. And the Black Panthers played with the better chemistry, more heart, were overmatched that entire game, but they wanted it more. And they're rewarded by making it to the HRL finals.
That was one of the most impressive monologues of this entire show's existence. I want you to know. That was
Because I was trying to save you the time of beep, beep, beep.
I appreciate you editing yourself out, but that's Walker A. Smith right there. That's Walker A. Ward right there. That was impressive. And I don't there's nothing I can add to that because I fully agree with you. And I think that we need to move on from the matchups that once were to the matchups that are to be. And I don't know if you can see me right now. Oh no, I was gonna have you keep keep the fettuccine because I got the tax man right here.
Okay. Yeah, we got the tax man and big fettuccine. And it's not just that here. I got one more for you. I know we're on a time crunch here.
I think I should make a pretty good time,
There we
anyways.
go.
Is that the janitor? That could be either one of them.
That's clearly Ethan Lane.
Um, let me see.
Let's do a quick little look into the matchup that we have coming up this Sunday.
Oh, the things I was gonna do for the hardest man are not appropriate for this program. So
Oh, I'm gonna get it right back to where. So, looking forward to this Sunday. Obviously, the big headline is there we go. Our trip. Oh,
oh, didn't need to pull that one up.
that's on Tannen's to-do list.
Yeah,
Um, so looking forward to this Sunday. It's gonna be a monumental Sunday. Year five's finals was absolutely electric. Year six, I
the
expect to be
best.
nothing below that. We're growing every year, but we are getting one of the best storyline finals we've ever had because you've got Quincy Berlin, Ethan Lane, supporting cast of Cohen Kraft, Dylan Winslow, and
Logan
so
Ilg.
sorry. Logan Ilg, Jeepers. I can't believe I forgot Logan Ilg. Sorry, Logan. Logan Ilg, who's ultimately been a big part. We'll get to that in a second. But the starting three of Ethan Quincy and Logan Ilg with the bench, Cohen Kraft, Dylan Winslow. Didn't really see much of Dylan Winslow, but I was told that they're saving him for the finals.
Mm.
So you've got the Gators, kind of the favorites all season, making it to the finals. However, this is where the storyline comes in because Quincy and Logan did not originally start with the Gators. They were Black Panthers. Midway through the year, the two Australians decide in Australian talk to swap, and Gundo, with the number one overall seed, sends Max Barnes and Greg Kennedy to the Black Panthers for Quincy Berlin and Logan Ilg. They were in first place. Everybody at the time thought there's no way you could beat the Gators. Then all of a sudden the door kind of opened and people thought maybe you can beat the Gators. And then here they are. This is kind of like that revenge, right? The proving of you didn't want me, you traded me away. I'm gonna go make the finals with my team. We'll see. We'll see what happens coming up.
I mean, how crazy is that? That Gundo drafted a team that drafted a finals caliber team, traded the two of the best players on the team to make them another finals caliber team, and the guys he traded also made their own finals caliber team. If you kind of get what I'm going at, like in that one Gators draft class, the level of play was so high that whether they played together or on separate teams, they were the best in the league because they've proven it because they're at the pinnacle, they're at the top of the mountain. Now they got to see which one's left standing at the end of this week. It's just,
Himself, in a sense.
yeah, it's. I mean, it is when we first made our predictions. Did I believe that Black Panthers could do this? Absolutely. Did I believe it? Would I have believed it if I knew they didn't have Greg Kennedy and if the Lions had Jay Brink? I think my predictions probably would have been different. But what did I want to see the most? I wanted to see Max Barnes and Greg Kennedy get the chance to stick it to Gundo and the Gators. And they got traded in the middle of the, well, not the middle of the night, but it was a going into the weekend, into the final weekend of the trade deadline. Those two get traded. They show up by Rucker that Sunday. They look defeated. I don't know if you remember, but Max Barnes and Greg Kennedy looked out of it.
Time. Well, yeah. Playing on that, I talked with Max Barnes and he said this one kind of hurt. Like I didn't know this was coming. And then on that, you and I had talked. We were watching games where it honestly looked like Greg Kennedy did not care anymore. Like he just was
No,
not trying. They weren't winning games right away, but they rallied together, made their way, clawed out of that play-in tournament, got the sixth seed, and they're having a historic run. There's something about, you know, it kind of reminds me of a 2024 Black Panthers run where they come in as the eight seeded team and make the finals. Ultimately fell short, but do you know who was on that 2024 team?
if my memory serves me correctly, that 2024 team had a starting lineup that consisted of Logan Corson, by the time, and the OG HRL villain, Logan Baylor. Baylor Buckets.
Midway through the season, Logan Baylor comes out of retirement, joins his team, Jackie Moons it, and he's back in the finals with the Black Panthers. There's something about now he's not wearing a jersey, but there's something about Logan Baylor as a player on the Black Panthers and the finals. There's something to that. Just something about him being on that team. Sorry, I'm dealing with a cat who has got his nail caught, but he's trying to play.
That is all right. I had to do the same. I got scratched up on our last live show. Yeah, it is the fact that Logan Baylor, one of the biggest knocks on his career, that he never won an HRL championship. Like you talk about the greats from the OG HRL days. Obviously, we have Zach, we have Gundo, we have you, we have Father Time, Logan Corson, another guy who's never won an HRL championship. That kind of taints his career a little bit. Then there's Logan Baylor, and that's a nice photo of Father Time, LB. Is that Ruby right there? And your child in Father Time's arms. It's just
Sit there.
nice.
It doesn't quite want to go normal, but
But we talk about these guys who have had their careers kind of tainted with the fact that they never won a championship. And Logan Baylor, 2 years basically after retirement and 6 years into the league, has another opportunity to go win one. And Father Time, he lost it in his first one with the Black Panthers, and he came back and he won it in his second one. Now, does Logan Baylor have the chance of the same thing? Lose it in his first try, but win it in his second try.
I'm going to say it right now. Oh, well, I don't want to say it. Nobody's overmatched. Both teams are in the finals, but going in, the betting favorites right now are the Gators.
Of course.
For the Black Panthers, what's your key to yeah? What is your key to success here? Remember, you're getting Greg back, a fresh Greg, hopefully inspired Greg. Um, you're the coach, right? You're Gundo. What's the what? Or excuse me, you're Ruby playing Gundo's team. You're Ruby. What's your message to your team going into Sunday about, hey, we're the underdogs. Nobody expects us to win, but this is how we're going to do it.
This is you need the three pillars for the Black Panthers to win this finals. Number one, 3-point shooting. You need to be able to hit your outside shots. This is a team that can drill them. They can get hot. They need to be able to drill those outside shots. Two, ball movement, specifically cutting off of Max Barnes in the post. Max Barnes is going to have Ethan Lane on him. That's going to be a tough assignment. Max Barnes might not have the offensive series he hopes to have. However, you have Greg Kennedy, who will be guarded by Logan Ilg and Cohen Kraft, which is again, that's a great matchup by the Gators. I mean, you want a guy like Logan Hill, Cohen Craft on defense, but you have Greg Kennedy. Then you also have Kale Eichen and Brevin Tolfstrud, two great off-ball players, guarded by the tax man, who's going to be spending all of his energy on offense, most likely. I think there's going to be a lot of open cuts. Those guys have a really good feel for the game. And Max Barnes has shown that he is a Nikola Jokic type of player. And so so we have outside shooting, ball movement, especially off of Max Barnes, and offensive rebounding. You need to, well, just rebounding in general. You need to limit Ethan Lane's offensive rebounding, and you need to grab your offensive rebounds. When you have Max Barnes and Greg Kennedy, 6'5" and 6'5", basically down low, you need to win those battles. If they can do all three of those things, I think they have a really good shot of winning the HRL finals.
What I was thinking about this game, rebounding is going to be the key. Rebounding is always the key to success. It's just like defense, but rebounding is really going to play a critical factor, more specifically on the offensive rebounding, right? Grabbing that defense, but giving somebody second chance points. Quincy Berlin might miss once, but he doesn't miss again. You can't be giving Ethan Lane to come swooping in and steal an offensive rebound. For the Black Panthers, you got to corral those. Same thing, right? the Black Panthers. We have to get second chances. Second chance is going to lead to points, hopefully more likely than not. Um, so let's flip it around. Before we get out of here, you're Gundo now, right? You're talking to the Gators. What is your game plan as a Gators ownership? Talking to your team. Obviously, you got four guys to work with, right? What's your game plan going in with that?
My game plan going in with that is it's almost vice versa of the Black Panthers game plan. You need to be the to rebound. You don't need to necessarily out rebound them, but you need to limit their second chance opportunities because of their size. So I think it starts on the glass for the Gators, making sure they don't get out rebound. Because I do believe the Gators, their top two on paper probably better than the Black Panthers top two. They are favorites. How can you limit the Black Panthers opportunities to make that historic upset? So limiting their chances on the glass, that'll give you an equal amount or more chances to score than they will. Next thing, Ethan Lane has to be lethal around the hoop. He's had games where he has just been duds around the hoop. If he has opportunities to score layups, if he misses those, he already can't get that offensive rebound. That's going to be cleaned up by the Black Panthers. Ethan Lane, need to see him get his 6 to 8 points around the basket. Number three, find ways to get the tax man open. The tax man is going to have people chirping in his ear, people all over him. If you hold the tax man under 10 points per game, you're not winning the finals. The tax man has to find ways to get clean looks. If they can rebound the ball, shoot, convert on most of their opportunities from inside, and then find ways to get Quincy Berlin open looks, and the Gators will have a very, very good shot of walking away with this Rucker trophy.
When the Gators were drafted, the first thing that came was like they're big, right? Ethan Lane was the smallest guy on the team, and he's a big guy. So if if I'm just thinking about this as the Gators, right? I traded away my big guys to go get a guard. We kind of got to play like that. If I'm the Gators, I know Ethan Lane likes to sit down low and collect offensive rebounds, but he's got 6'5" and 6'5" to try to battle with. He's going to get tired. I kind of want to see the Gators spread the court a little bit and try to pull Max Barnes and Greg Kennedy out of there and rely on more of a crash style offensive rebound than a box out style
Yeah,
rebounding. Um, because, you know, if things are going like you're thinking, where Max Barnes is going to be on Greg Kennedy or Max Barnes is going to be on Ethan Lane, I think you use that to your advantage where Ethan Lane, the dude ran a marathon at the beginning of this season. Max Barnes didn't. So I would like to just see Ethan Lane just basically going sideline to sideline, right? Just back and forth and just make Max Barnes follow him. Just make him follow him, tire him out because this is potentially a 5 game series. Just Ethan Lane just kind of running around, dribble the ball, dribble it over here. Make Max Barnes move. Get him tired and hopefully play the long game with that. Hopefully Quincy Berlin hits. Cohen Craft can come alive and maybe kind of hopefully get a matchup disparaged there. And you cannot forget that the Black Panthers have Brevin Tolshoot, who I know he didn't win Defensive Player of the Year, but his defensive performance in that semifinals makes me really want to say, buddy, you are the playoffs Defensive Player of the Year. But I don't know. I'm excited for this Sunday. You and I have both taken vacation time from our normal lives to specifically focus on Rucker on Sunday. We're going to be there. We're going to be hosting a live podcast. Anybody wants to show up, schedule a time with us. Don't just show up. We're not just going to let you on. Schedule a time with us. Reach out. We'll get you on at some point in the show. And if you are even questioning about joining Rucker, show up this Sunday. It's going to be a great atmosphere. It's a great time to put your name up there, get some merch. Um, and we cannot leave this. I've got the Crusaders jersey on. I cannot go without saying shout out crew, pulling off the upset, making it uh they're making it they're in the basically they're 1 game away from the finals. They pulled off the upset. They were down 15 with 4 minutes, closer to 5 minutes ago. They were down 15. They came back and had a big time block to send them to the, I guess it's their semifinals, one game away from the finals. So shout out crew, save the crew, make sure to donate. Mason, do you have any final words for our viewers before we get out of here?
This is just part one to two podcasts this week. We're giving you guys two of them. You might see in the title description. It's part one of a two-parter. So this is coming out Wednesday morning, I believe. Sunday morning, be ready to tune back in because you're gonna be starting your day with IHRL, showing up early for the HRL finals, where we're gonna have the best finals of all time, the greatest atmosphere, the most competitive players, most competitive spirits. It is just gonna be a celebration of community in basketball, and I am so excited for it.
Again, you're seeing this on Wednesday. If you've made it this far, we might be having a little social hour at my place to celebrate the season that was coming on Sunday. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you've made it this far, we love you. Um, Trying to think of how to sign off other than just you never know. You might get hit by a car tomorrow, so play 110% in Rucker today. That's going to do it for us. IHRL out.
Bringing back the OG quote.
Did a little ad lib there. It's probably we're probably going to lose it here any second. So,
Yeah,
oh, are we good? I
we're
mean,
good. That was a
all
great
right.
podcast.
I think that was it. We're getting better at the